did not care. Alright, welcome back to 7 Days to Die, and this is our unmodded vanilla playthrough where we're going to be living in a town. I've got Knabble, Drek, Tickle, and Blue with me. We're going to go ahead and just try and take over this little town here, keep it safe as possible, and the last episode we managed to run pretty much all the way over to this town, about a 2-kilometer run, sorry. But yeah, this is the rundown little town that we decided to take over. We can see one of our friends down there, it looks like Tickle. Tickle has taken over the cafe here. He's our resident chef. He enjoys the cooking aspect of this game, so pretty much any and all recipes or food that we find is most likely going to be given to him. Yeah, because he's so close, he might be overlapping his land claim with mine. If that's the case, he might need to move it just a little bit more centralized over there so that I can replace mine. Right now, mine's in the garage, but if he were to move his over just a tad bit more, I might be able to have a nice little spot here. But if that's not the case and he's limited by where somebody else is, then we'll have to go ahead and look around for another little house here. I believe Knabble is sitting over in the building over there. Drek is unsure where he's going to build because I think the house that he had originally chosen caught fire and doesn't have a back wall. So, but right now we're going to go ahead and head down below and get some storage set up with what we got, just so we can move around unencumbered. I haven't really decided where we're going to set that storage up just yet, so we'll go ahead and pull this flashlight out that we picked up a little bit ago, just so we have a little bit of light. But this is the door that we secured ourselves last episode. We'll go ahead and just lock that for the time being. So we can put it in here. It might be a pretty decent spot to go ahead and set up our first chest. Go ahead and repair this wall real quick. There we go. Patch that on up, and why don't we go ahead and just make some chests here. And that's probably way too many. We'll go ahead and make about 3 for the time being. There's not going to be any particular organization in these chests here. Go ahead and just do that. Might need a little bit of a bite to eat at some point, but okay. Right now. And we actually were able to pick up the blunderbuss that was sitting in the top of the house, so that's going to come in pretty useful, pretty handy. And don't need that note. But in terms of the building, you can build on pretty much any surface, any angle, and it again is voxel based. So if we were to just go ahead and put a chest right here, and we might need to knock out this little hanger, so we have a little bit extra room. Go ahead and stack another chest up on top of the one we previously have. We can mount it on the wall if we want. We can put another one on the floor here. But I think we're just gonna go ahead and have them on the wall here in the closet. Let's see what's blocking this next one. Not sure. It might be this little overhang here, this little shelf. So we're gonna go ahead and remove that just so we have some more room for our chests. Place this last one. That too. There we go. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and say let's just store everything that's pretty much ammo related or resource related in here. We'll go ahead and keep this blunderbuss ammo that we have on us right now. And the reason for that is we're currently using one and we want to save it for emergency situations. So now I am going to scrap all of this lead in my inventory right now because there's really not a whole lot else that we can do at the moment. since it is nighttime, and due to the strength of the zombies right now, it's going to be a little bit difficult running around at night with pretty much your basic gear on. So we'll go ahead and just put all of this ammo in here for right now. I don't think we have any more, so we'll make that our ammo chest and pretty much anything of and relating to ammo. So any lead that we get or anything that, from my game knowledge, resorts to ammo crafting. So brass, lead, gunpowder. We had feathers in here. We'll probably put that in there. We could probably put this recog in there because what that does is it increases our shooting damage. But we're not going to really use that right now. We're actually going to save that for our Horde Night, so that we can get a little bit more kills and get a little bit more experience. So I think in the second chest right here, we'll just do some raw resources, materials, crafting things like that, and just put this here. So pretty much components and materials. I'm thinking that should give us a good baseline. And that, actually, we're going to go ahead and take these plant fibers out. So I do want to move my bag in here. These crafting components in. Now, there is a handy little feature here that not a whole lot of people know about, because it was just introduced in Alpha 19, and there is a sort function. So you can go ahead and press this, and it'll auto-sort everything in the container. Now, what this little second box does is it takes all of the items into whatever inventory you're clicking on. So if I were to take this item, if I had, say, a blood bag in here, if I were to click that, it would send the rest over into my inventory. Now, you can actually do that vice versa. So if I were to do this, it would send that one into that inventory. So it keeps things relatively organized and easy to put away in your chest once you have the correct materials sorted in there. So that's pretty good. Now, I know Tickle was going to be doing his cooking, so we're going to go ahead and just put all of our cooking materials in here for the time being. Mainly just because we want to save that for him, since he's going to be investing points into there. Now, I do want to keep the snowberries on me right now, because that's going to be our only way to sustain ourselves currently. But I think this is a good baseline for traveling and finding what we're going to be doing next. Looks like we may have a visitor here, so we're going to go ahead and get ready to defend our house. Might be outside there. We don't want them breaking any walls currently, mainly just because we haven't really had a chance to remodel or redo anything. But eventually we will reopen these doors so that we can actually use them ourselves. But it does look like I'm going to be having some visitors here, which is not a good thing. I'm not sure what's going on, but we need to not be in this house right now. And see what's going on out here. Again, we really don't want to mess with these guys too much. It is nighttime. When it is nighttime, they tend to move faster. Just stop being stunned. She's probably gonna. Let's go ahead and use that advantage. Right. Now, this little guy right here is called a spider zombie, and they are probably one of the most irritating zombies in the game because of that little leap. They can jump at you, attack you from anywhere, and this thing is actually killing me right now, so I'm going to try and move away from it as much as I can. But we need to get a decent distance away before we try and hit it with a blunderbuss shot here. Let it leap, and there it is. Shoot him and just run away and reload. Unfortunately, there's really no other good way to combat these guys right now. So our health is exceptionally low, but we're doing this because we don't want them to break down our house that we just cleared out. Run away again and try and reload. about all we can do. There we go. So we're looking safe again, and we're going to go ahead and pick up the bedroll and move it inside. So one of the interesting things about 7 days is you can make traps to defend your house, your base, wherever you decide to build. You can make spike traps, electrical traps, pretty much anything you can think of. It's in the game. But because we're so primitive right now, we really don't have a lot to work with. And I think because we took so much damage right there, we're just going to go ahead and chill out and see what we can do to plan our build here. So we'll find a good place for the sleeping bag. I think it's probably a good idea if we just plop it down somewhere in here, right next to our chest, just in case anything happens. So we'll just go ahead and put it up against the wall and look at our skill tree here. So in our skills, we actually earned a skill point because we did level up. We're going to go ahead and want to look at probably more in the fortitude tree, just because we really are going to need that healing factor as much as we can. But again, that's only going to unlock at level 5. Now, I'm not sure if we want to invest a little bit more into that, or if we want to invest a little bit more into our agility tree and go for some more deep cuts or pistols or what. I'm thinking because we don't have a whole lot of pistols and all we really do have is this bone knife right here, we're just going to go ahead and invest into a little bit more fortitude, because that's going to give us just a bit more health, and it's going to also contribute to this healing factor. One of the things that I personally really enjoy doing is going into the pain tolerance, as well as rule 1 cardio, and you can go off well insulated if you're living in a snow zone or a desert biome, but we really don't need a whole lot of that. Now, Machine Gunner is also really good to have at certain later game stages, which we may invest into at a certain point because we're going into healing factor and the rest over here. So let's go ahead and put another point into fortitude, get a little bit more health, and start working our way up towards that rank 5. So it looks like in 2 levels we'll be at rank 5, then we'll be able to put that 3rd point into healing factor. And that's really going to help us out in terms of recovery. What we're wanting to get is to this rank 4, because as you can see, you gain 1 health every 10 seconds with natural healing at rank 4. Now with rank 3, it's 1 health every 20 seconds, so it effectively cuts it in half from rank 3, and over here it's 45, so it's more than half, and it just gets exponentially better and better and better, up to the point where it's 6, and you really don't get as much of a bonus from 4 to 5. However, when you're healing 1 health every 6 seconds, it is quite powerful, and you'll notice that you're doing a whole lot more damage during the stage, so you're not going to need it as much, especially if you were to get pain tolerance, because that reduces your HP loss, and the more HP loss you reduce, the more that healing factor actually benefits you. So there's quite a few overpowered builds that you can make. It looks like Knabble might be going with the Spear, Javelin Master. That's actually a really powerful one, especially when you're dealing with zombies that are a little bit more powerful. But I think, like I said, we're going to go with the more challenging knife build here. Another one that people really like to do is with Skull Crusher or Pummel Pete, and they like to pair that with heavy armor and shotguns. Those are all very, very strong. If we were on a PvP server, I would most likely be foregoing almost all of this and grabbing a shovel and digging in a hole and trying to see if I can get all of this as much as possible. Now, we are going to be mining to an extent, which means that we're probably going to have to put some points into this, but I think we're probably going to be looking into the fortitude and perception tree a little bit before then, and just perception mainly because of Lucky Looter. And Lucky Looter is very, very, very powerful because it gives you a little bit more of a chance to loot better items, and it grows more and more and more. And there's also an item in the game called the Lucky Goggles that will offer you additional loot. So I think what we're going to do now, while we're waiting for morning to come around, is we're going to see if we can build any more clothing so that we're not ending up like we're Knabble over there. So we'll go ahead and see what we have and what we need. Like, we're going to need some kind of gloves and footwear. Let's go ahead and adjust that. And it is important to note that with clothes also comes resistances. So we're really not getting much in the way of armor right now with the plant fiber stuff, but it will make it so that we're not draining our food and water quite as much. So for padded boots, we're going to need duct tape and cloth fragment. But I think we're going to try and get some padded chest armor first. And luckily enough, because we did go around and collect some resources, we actually have just enough duct tape and cloth to go ahead and make a pair. So we're going to do that right now. That's going to give us a little bit of extra protection. As you can see, you get light armor, and it doesn't really do a whole lot of detriment to us. It doesn't take away from our mobility or anything like that, and it will appear on our character here. Let's go ahead and take that off just so we can see what it looks like. We're looking quite awkward right now, but it's alright. So, I think our next goal is to get a little bit more cloth and use this other duct tape so we can make some pan armor. Now, there is a bed right here. So in a bed, go ahead and harvest this for some wood and cloth and get a lot of both. Just kind of move it over here. We'll take that duct tape and craft some leg armor. You guys can probably hear another zombie outside. We're going to try and just crouch down and make as little noise as possible right now because we want them to bypass us, but I'm not sure if they're going to or not. We've run out of duct tape right now, and got a little bit more armor, so we're getting there. We're getting there, slowly but surely. Sounds like they're inside right now. And zombies are indeed attracted to light sources. Pop our heads out here real quick. Find out what's going on. Sure. Sounds like they may be inside. If that is the case, come back around them, I think. Now you can actually climb on those. Guy isn't outside. Like I went ahead and got myself stuck. So if that happens, you can craft wood frame block. You can just get on out of there. Definitely sounds like he is inside right now, though. Go ahead and check that out and see if we can take care of it. Quite sure how he did pile inside, unless he went from one of the doors in the back. Just in my house breaking some stuff, though. Where he went. Quite interesting, unless he's upstairs somehow. They're not quite sure where he is. Right? This is actually one of the more tame night periods that you can have in 7 days. See, this side is taking a little bit of damage, so if we find this guy, figure out what's going on here. Ah, there he is. Alright, so this is what's called a bloated, and they are probably one of the most scary walkers in here. They take a lot of damage and do a lot. So, let's see if we can't put him down. Door already. Time to reload. Yep, we were sitting there with armor on and it looks like just did not care. So we'll go ahead and spawn up at our bag here and try. We're gonna try and take him out. Might leave us alone enough for us to get my bag back. Right there. Oh, doesn't look like it. I don't think I have much in the way of items to defend against this. Probably gonna have to jump out on the roof and run back around. Alright. If he goes somewhere else so we can get that bag. Here. There we go. That works. Alright. Maybe spear him. Let's see if we can get a good shot. Hopefully he comes back up on the staircase here to get a good view on him. Might even be able to poke him through this little window here. But I don't want him destroying everything in my house, so I'm just gonna go ahead and try and deal with him right now. There we go. We got some work to do, for sure. Gonna have to reinforce this this building quite a bit. I'm gonna go ahead and start chopping down some trees so we can do just that for the time being. Anyway. And I think once morning rolls around, go ahead and check in with our friends here in the town and see how they're doing. rocks too. Again, these resources do not grow back unless you plant them, or plant any trees. So, it is a good idea to jump on these first before anyone else can. Now, the rocks will not regrow back, but the trees will grow if you plant the seeds that you get when you chop them down. Should give us a decent bit to get started with, but we do need to find some animals to hunt down. See if we can get any forges going so we can maybe craft some cobblestone and start upgrading the house. Because as it stands right now, this rotting wood is not going to get us anywhere. As you can see, zombies can break through pretty easily. Right. Okay, on stone right now. Definitely gonna have to search for some birds' nests here. They're a little bit hard to see, but eventually run into them. So far, so good. As long as you're getting feathers out of these, it's a win. But you are going to want the eggs as well. There's what's called a Hawaiian shirt zombie that's sitting over there. I'm really not sure that I want to deal with him right now. See if we can just wait a little bit to morning, because we don't want him running fast at us, since he did quite a bit of damage. I'm gonna go ahead and just craft some arrows here. We're gonna head back for the time being. Real quick and bunker down, see what's going on in the morning. Alright, sun is starting to come up, thankfully. It was a little bit of a rough night, we had some trouble there, but there have been worse nights, and that one wasn't horrible. I have to do a little bit of repairs, but that's okay. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and put this blunderbuss back in our secure chest and probably head on out. See if we can talk to Tickle about moving his land claim just a little bit. That way we can move ours and we get a little bit more coverage. But I think we're gonna go ahead and end that one here and head out on to the next episode.